Well, overall, I'm cautiously optimistic about the future of the economy. I think we've learned a lot of lessons. We realize how interconnected the economies are around the world. I think the right steps have been taken in the short term to deal with the capital issues and the financial crisis. Having said that, it's going to take a long time for trust to be rebuilt. Trust is lost very quickly. It only will rebuild over time. But I am optimistic that with the concerted and coordinated government action, with the fiscal stimulus that will be coming in 2009, that we can build out of this recessionary economy and have a positive 5 years. I think it's really important that we get more values-based leadership in business today. When you think about things that we've experienced, both greed and excess have been at the center of some of it, both on the part of institutions, but also on the part of investors who were seeking greater yield. So I think that really getting back to values-based leadership will be essential to make sure there's no backlash. When you think about the power of the market economies, when you think about how the global integration of the world has lifted societies, taken economies from third world status to now very thriving, booming economies that are attracting foreign investment, I think you see the power of working together. I think as a society, we have to make sure we recognize these benefits and don't retrench into protectionism at this time. Well, as we look to the future, I think there's going to be some element of re-regulation of the markets, both the financial sector and business overall. And I think that's going to be important that it be done properly and thoughtfully and thoroughly. But at the same time, I think it's important that that re-regulation not be so stringent as to squeeze out innovation. Because at the end of the day, innovation is really part of the kernel that is building economies the world over. And so I think getting the right balance of strong, thoughtful regulation with a support for innovation will be important. I think it's vital that we not let the environment lose out. It is too important to the future of the world. And so while we are dealing with a whole array of economic challenges, I think it's essential that governments and companies make sure they don't let the economy take precedence over the environment. Working together, I think we can accomplish both. I think innovation is critical to the future of the world, and entrepreneurs drive so much of that. I have the opportunity to meet with entrepreneurs the world over, and they all share a real common characteristic. They think about the world outside themselves instead of thinking internally. They see the needs that exist. They have a real vision to create a solution to those needs, a product, a service, an idea. And then they have the courage to risk it all and go just commit to build their idea out, to take it to fruition. I think that's what entrepreneurs do, and I think they'll do it very, very well to help build us out of this economic times we're in. Well, I think trust is so easily lost and so hard to gain. I think it's one of the things that the world is really dealing with today. But at the end of the day, it's about leadership. It's all about leadership. And I think that we have to really, each of the organizations in the world, recognize how important transparency is, recognize how important better risk management is, but also recognize how important it is for each of us to be good global corporate citizens. At Ernst & Young, we think about this in a very specific way. We call it the 3 E's. And we focus our citizenship efforts around entrepreneurship, around the environment, and around education. We think by focusing in that way, we can make a greater impact on the world. I've had the chance during my career to meet with a number of extraordinary leaders. And there are certain characteristics I see that really drive success. First is integrity. No person I've ever met who was a successful leader didn't have a real bedrock foundation of integrity. Without that bedrock, nothing else can succeed. Second, though, is respect. A leader can only be successful if they're respected by the people around them, and that respect comes when they first respect everyone else. People who are like them and people who are not like them. people who are their gender, their color, their nationality, and people who are not. So respect is essential. I think third, though, it's all about teaming. No leader can be effective if they think about themselves only. They have to recognize it's the team and the team only that is important. And when you put integrity, respect, and teaming together, I think that's what's needed. We're involved in many different things at the World Economic Forum. We're very focused on the women's leadership and gender parity issues. We're very focused on global growth companies and on social entrepreneurship. We're extremely involved with the Partnership Against Corruption Initiative, PACI as it's called. And these are things that tie directly to our business. They're things that we think we can provide some real input into the solutions that will be important to the world. So we're delighted to be members and partners with the World Economic Forum.